According to Shams, the Miami Heat reportedly could be one of the few teams that are interested in acquiring Klay Thompson if he ends up leaving the Golden State Warriors next season as a free agent. Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. My name is Amir. Before I get into the video today, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support of my channel. It really means a lot to me. I'm on my path to 1,000 subscribers and getting relatively close. So if you guys could subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot. So thank you again. So Klay Thompson is going to be a free agent next season unless the Golden State Warriors extend Klay Thompson, but that hasn't happened yet. So Klay said he wants to stay with the Golden State Warriors. He doesn't want to leave the team necessarily, but he's looking at a contract extension, but the Warriors have been unwilling to give him one. And so Shams was on the Pat McAfee show, and he basically said there's a few teams, including the Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, Clippers, and Lakers, who he believes will pursue the 5-time All-Star and 4-time NBA championship if things are not resolved with the Golden State Warriors. So he said he's set to be a free agent at the end of the season. From everything, I expect him to test the marketplace. I would expect both Florida teams. I would expect both LA teams. I would expect potentially a couple of East teams to have interest in Klay Thompson. As of right now, unless there's a miracle extension, he's going to test the marketplace. And I think the Warriors have understood going into the year after they didn't extend him, his future's up in the air, just for the simple fact that he's going to be going into free agency. So the Miami Heat have been linked to other veterans, as we all know, in the last few off seasons, including Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell and Bradley Beal. And I know Klay right now is not on the caliber of Damian Lillard specifically. He is declining to a certain degree compared to what he was in the past. And he's averaging 17 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists. And I think this is his worst three-point shooting year in terms of percentage in his career, which is still really good. It's 37%. So he only shot 38% a couple years ago, and that was his last worst shooting percentage from three. So we know he's dealt with those two injuries back-to-back years in 2019, 2020 with the ACL and then Achilles. And right now he's coming off the bench actually for the Golden State Warriors. So he is sacrificing, and he did have like 35 points against the Utah Jazz most recently. So he is still capable of catching fire. And again, I mean, he's still averaging 17 points per game, 30 minutes per game. And so he's definitely a capable three-point shooter. He's definitely not as good as he was defensively. So he's not that same two-way player that he was in the past. He's 34 years old, so he is getting older. But if he does become a free agent next season, I doubt he's going to command the same amount of money that he's been getting. I think he's making over $35-40 million this season, and I'm sure he's going to want one last contract similar to what Kyle Lowry got from the Miami Heat, so like a 2 to 3 year deal where he's getting the at minimum $20 million. So if the Miami Heat are going to be going after Klay Thompson next season, then they're going to have to shake up their roster because they're not going to want to go over the second apron for Klay Thompson. I'm not sure he's the missing piece necessarily that's going to put us over the hump, but it depends on what we do. But I think he could fit really well, again, next to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero. So that could be an interesting piece, especially because we know that Butler is also, he's 34 and almost 35, and he is going to be with the Miami Heat until the 2025 campaign where he has a player option, and he's going to be making in the $50 million range. So I'm assuming he's going to re-sign. He says he wants to retire in Miami. So the Miami Heat are going to need to continue to add some depth and some supporting casts around Jimmy Butler if they want to win a championship. And, you know, Klay has the championship experience. He's the second, maybe the second best shooter of all time. I don't know. Top 5 for sure with Steph, Klay, Reggie, Ray Allen, and Damian Lillard. But he is someone that could help this Miami Heat team. It's not going to move the needle necessarily like it would have 3 years ago before his major injuries, but that could be an interesting piece that the Miami Heat could add to this roster. So adding someone who's a veteran, who has 4 championships, who's one of the best shooters of all time, definitely would help spread the floor for Jimmy and Bam Adebayo. But at what costs? So I don't think he's leaving, honestly. I think he would re-sign with the Warriors. I think they would give him a pretty decent deal. They can't give him the final contract that he deserves or wants, honestly, if they're going to want to continue to build around Steph. Because right now they have some good young pieces with Kuminga and Moody. Wiggins right now not playing the best, but Draymond's playing good. Steph is playing good. Klay's playing decent. And so they need some more pieces in Golden State right now. They're not a championship contender based on how they've been playing this season. So not entirely sure if they're going to be willing to give up Klay, honestly, and let him walk because of that legacy, because of the dynasty that they created. I don't think they want to do Klay like that. They're a really good organization, so I think they will reward him to a certain degree. But again, he's going to test free agency, see what is out there, what team is willing to offer what, and maybe Klay wants to get his 5th championship, right? And so he might find an opportunity with the Miami Heat or with the Clippers or with another team that has the potential to be a contender. So we'll see. But anyway, I would be open to it again, but it would have to be on a cheaper scale deal. I don't think I would be willing to pay him what we paid Kyle Lowry, where he's age 37, making $30 million and playing off the bench or, scoring single figures. So I don't want to risk that with Klay Thompson, honestly. But if we can get him for cheap, I would be willing to. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think it makes sense for the Miami Heat to go after Klay Thompson next season if he's a free agent? Let me know. Thanks, guys.